What's up, everybody? Good evening. Good evening. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate y'all joining on this Friday afternoon or Friday evening. Today is June the 20th, 2025. We got a lot going on out there in the world. What's up, Ryan? Appreciate you joining. Appreciate you joining. Shout out to everybody joining. Make sure y'all smash that like button, share the live stream, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. 1 second, let me get y'all up here. Make sure y'all comments are coming up on the screen. What's up, Daryl? Shout out to you. Give me 1 second. But how's everybody doing out there today, this Friday afternoon? How was your week? I haven't been live since I believe Sunday. The markets are real dry right now, so we're pretty much waiting in anticipation for some type of reaction, in my honest opinion. These markets are reaction based, so we're just sitting back waiting. 1 second. What's up, Law Docs? What's up? What's up, Daryl? You said wrapping up the workday, about to start driving home. Okay, drive safely, Daryl. Drive safely. Hopefully, I'm some good entertainment for you on your way home. What's up, ZZ? Markets are dry, but we still stacking that Fetty for sure, for sure. I took a trade today, ZZ. I wasn't going to trade on Friday, but I definitely traded. I'm gonna post that after I get off live. I'm gonna post it on live stream. But I'm trying to get y'all comments up here on the live. 1 second. Oh, that's why. Let me do this right quick. All right, y'all press 1 right quick. Y'all press 1. Let me make sure y'all comments are coming up on the live on the big screen. Y'all press 1 right quick. There we go. There we go. All right. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But for sure, man, it's been a dry. We are coming to the close of the quarter, and we're coming to the half of the year close. So we're ending Q2. It's been a long ass quarter. A lot of things have been going on in Q2. There's a lot been going on. You just go back all the way back to April up until now. We only a few days left. We have 2 days left. No, that's the weekly time frame. Let me see right quick. We got 10 days left. 10 days left to finish the quarter, the second quarter of 2025. So definitely a lot going on. If y'all just joining, man, smash that like button for me. I appreciate y'all joining. Subscribe to the channel. Let's do a quick roll call. Y'all shout out where y'all from. Let me see where everybody's at in the world. Shout out where you're from, your country, your city, your region, whatever y'all want to shout out. Go ahead and shout that out. I want to acknowledge everybody. We are a global community, so shout out to everybody worldwide. Let me get a quick roll call. And if you're brand new to the channel, let me get acknowledge yourself. What's up, Daryl? LA in the building. Shout out to LA in the building. Los Angeles, California in the building. Who else in the building? What's up, Mudvayne? Shout out from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Law Docs, we already know you from the underworld, Law Docs. Law Docs, you from the underworld. I haven't seen you in a while neither, but shout out to you. Appreciate you joining. Appreciate you joining. But let's review some of these prices. We got XRP, and I'm going to cover the stock market as well. We're going to go all across the board. We're going to cover oil. We're going to talk about gold. We're going to talk about silver. We're going to talk about the whole asset class. I might even cover the bonds market as well, because if you don't know, Jerome Powell, the Fed, they paused again. So we just had a rate announcement earlier this week, and they decided to continue to pause. I wonder why they did that. I'm gonna leave that for y'all to speculate. But we got XRP currently trading at $2.11. $2.11. We got XLM trading at 24 cents. We got XDC trading at 5 cents. We got H-bar trading at 14 cents. Bitcoin, $103,000, kind of holding steady up there. Ethereum, 2,300. It just touched 2,400. Algo, 16 cents. DAG is at a great opportunity. I went to their website the other day. They got some great partnerships at DAG. I prefer DAG over things like SHX. I don't know. We're going to cover it, though. We're going to cover it. We got DAG at 3 pennies. 3 pennies. Let's come over here to the next chart. We got IOTA currently trading at 15 cents. IOTA at a deep discount. The Internet of Things. We got ZBEC. It went completely dead with the ZBEC community. Where's everybody at with ZBEC? It definitely went completely dead. So I'm not knocking ZBEC. If you're holding it, I told y'all, I pre-warned y'all that it could potentially come down. We got ZBEC under a penny. We got Internet Computer, ICP, trading at $4.90. We got Ondo trading at 73 cents. We got Solana trading at $139. We got Flare Network at 1 penny. Flare Network at 1 penny. FLR. We got Cardano at 57 cents. We got Chainlink at $12.45. What's up, Texas Plates? You say you still holding ZBEC? I understand. Hey, do what you got to do, Texas Plates. But I'm trying to sit here and find out, where is the ZBEC community? Where's all the noise? Ever since we entered the war era, the war talk, and crypto hasn't really been making too much noise. I'm trying to figure out, where's the ZBEC people at? But if you're still holding, shout out to you. I'm not knocking you. That's your own choice. Everybody's making their own financial decisions. Let's come over to the stock market. Let's get interested in the stock market. When I say the art of war and it's good for business, well, a lot of these stock companies working directly with the United States government, the Department of Defense, different agencies. So a lot of these companies are working directly with Big Brother or, the United States government. So we got Apple currently trading at $201. We got Nvidia trading at $143. We got Microsoft $477. Amazon $210. $210. We got Meta $683. We got Tesla $322. We got Google $166 and Palantir. If you've been in Palantir since the early days, shout out to you. But it's currently trading at $137. I think they are a very interesting company. Palantir is pretty much trying to take over everything tech in the Department of Defense, United States government. So they are definitely doing some big things at Palantir. Big money to be made. Do y'all think all these companies right here that are all of them have direct contracts, federal contracts with the United States government? They are making big money. They are getting big returns for their investors. So money is being made in times of crisis, in times of war. It's unfortunate that people got to die, but hey, we were just put here in this world. We portaled into this reality. So now we here and we got to figure out our way through hell. That's what I'm trying to say. We trying to figure our way out through this. And one way to figure it out is by investing. We already know. And unfortunately, it's programmed like this. We just in the matrix. So let's continue. Already covered Microsoft. We got Berkshire Hathaway, 485. We got Coinbase, currently trading at $308. We got Netflix, for whatever reason, $1,229. That's interesting. Why is Netflix overvalued? I don't know. But anyway, Oracle Corporation, 205. Walmart, $96. Broadcom, $249. And we got Circle Internet Group. They just went live earlier this month, trading at $249. So got a lot going on in the stock market. Let's see what I can cover. Let's come over to the news. Let's go ahead and cover some news. Get that out the way. Red Pill Awakening. Shout out to you. Netflix hasn't split, boss. Okay, that's why. See, I don't trade stocks. I don't invest in stocks. Some of them I find interesting, but that's a good. Thank you for informing me with that. I'm more of a trader. So when you're a trader, we're constantly putting our money to work. We build up our capital and then we invest it into stocks, crypto, commodities like gold and silver, real estate, whatever y'all want to invest your capital into. Appreciate that. It's an illusion. Shout out to you. Think Circle might sell off when the Genius Bill officially passes. What makes you think that? It's an illusion. What makes you think that? Because they out the gate strong. I would not be chasing this. It definitely is going to offer some type of retracement at some point. But right now, I would not be buying this or trying to throw money at this because it's at a premium. So we're going to see. We're going to see. Red Pill Awakening, shout out to you, bro. Thank you for teaching us well. Okay, appreciate it, Red Pill Awakening. Appreciate it. Oh, that it's an illusion. That's why. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Let me see right quick. Patreon. Almost complete, y'all. Almost complete. Very high demand. A lot of people wanting to see it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ready for it. Just trying to work out some tweaks here and there. But Patreon, y'all can go ahead and sign up for the beginner lessons if you have not already. I got some good beginner lessons for y'all to get a foundation of learning technical analysis. It's just a foundation. Sign up to the beginner lessons. But here shortly, I'm thinking about considering getting rid of the crypto tier and just combining crypto with the micro futures and the mini futures. So crypto has different products, so I might remove that and only have 2 tiers with the signal service. So that's what I'm considering. What's up, Lawrence? Appreciate you joining. ZZ, you said you want confirmation first week of July. We're getting there, ZZ. I'm still working out some tweaks, but like I'm saying, I'm thinking about removing the crypto tier and combining it with the micros in the mini futures. Signal service on the way. Some people already seen inside access to it. It's definitely built out. Still working some tweaks out. Almost complete, but I will announce it. Another thing is we got to be cautious because the markets are high risk right now. So I'm being transparent with y'all. The markets are definitely high risk because of geopolitical tensions right now worldwide. So it's going to take high level skill to get in here and do what you need to do. I'm going to be providing signals. So be on the lookout for that. What I'm about to say, geopolitical tensions brings volatility to the markets, but we don't know if something huge is going to come, like a uranium grade weapon going off somewhere in the world, and that pretty much pauses everything. So we don't know what's ahead of us. We cannot see. I'm not even going to try to predict that. I don't know what's ahead of this. We all know that Donald Trump, he wants to make his decision with going into Iran in 2 weeks. I'm of the opinion that we already are moving vessels and troops in that region towards that region. We're taking military personnel from the Pacific, moving them to the Middle East region. So it's pretty much for me, not for anybody else, just for my opinion, the writing is on the wall that we're probably going to want to enter Iran. And if that happens, you're going to see a volatile market across all markets. You're going to see it in oil. You're going to see gold. You're going to see the dollar react. You're going to see everything react if war with America involved really breaks out. So right now, the markets are very on high alert, high risk environments. So you have to be cautious in these markets. Even though I'm still thriving in this, I'm not expecting everybody else to thrive in these markets. But what I was about to say, yeah, just pretty much the reaction of the markets. Oh, we're coming to the halfway point of the year. So everything is lining up for whatever agenda they have. Who is they? Y'all should know who they is. So we're coming to the midway point of the year. We only got 10 days left, and then we enter the second half of the year, and we enter the third quarter. So we're aligning, moving troops to the Middle East, preparing for war for the second half of the year. So that's going to bring a volatile market. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Boss, can you give me a prediction on XRP and where it's headed? We're going to cover XRP, Red Pill Awakening. Yeah, they is the elites for sure. 6-month fair value gaps lines up perfectly with this. Yes, and ZZ, I call that out perfect. So with that being said, damn. We're going to do this. I'm going to show you XRP first. No, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Let me cover the news. Let's come over to the news. And then we'll cover the charts. I like to say that for last. Let's build this up first. Let's come over to the news. I ain't trying to keep y'all all night neither, but I appreciate y'all joining. If y'all just joining, man, smash that like button. If you're brand new, subscribe to the channel. So let's cut the music off. Right there. Okay, war in Israel. Let's get an update. Let's get an update with the conflict. If y'all don't know, these conflicts have direct impact on the markets. You're seeing it on a day-to-day. You're asking where's the volatility? Where's the price action? Everything is on pause, waiting for a moment. So what that moment might be, hey, your guess is better than mine. So let's go ahead and cover the war in Iran and Israel. Does America get involved? Let's go ahead and cover that right quick.
Day 8 of the brutal conflict between Iran and Israel continues to escalate. Israel launched yet another wave of bombing targeting Iranian military nerve centers. Iran's sophisticated missile arsenal is tearing through Israel's defenses, revealing a vulnerability that threatens the very core of its security. The battle rages, and the cost to Israel is mounting far beyond mere financial strain. Our next report telling you more.
Missile trails scorch the sky as Iran unleashes wave after wave of advanced firepower, bleeding Israel in a relentless campaign of attrition. Friday morning began in Israel with yet another wave of missile attacks. These are the scenes of destruction in the southern city of Beersheba. The same city was hit on Thursday. The ruins of Soroka Medical Center tell the tale of the devastating attack.
It's so sad. I never thought something like this could happen. Never. It's only medical professionals here and patients. And look what happened to us.
So we're going to pause it right there. This man says, I thought nothing like this could ever happen to Israel. But, you know, it looks like they bombed a medical facility, a hospital. And they are in complete, utter shock about them getting bombed or whatnot. But haven't they been doing that? And I'm neutral with all this. I'm not picking no side. We're just covering the news. We're going to keep it neutral. But hasn't Israel bombed hospitals in Gaza? Hasn't Israel bombed hospitals in Gaza? I'm just, children, elderly. But we're going to keep it moving. Let's move forward. I just had to present that question. You know what I'm saying? How are you shocked when your nation has done that to other nations? But let's continue.
If you're a man who makes at least 150 grand a year and you feel self-conscious about your gut sticking out, I'll get you shredded or you won't.
Hypersonic missiles, which are extremely difficult to intercept, slam into Israeli military installations and critical infrastructure, leaving smoldering craters and shattered command centers. The Israeli Air Force's relentless sorties cannot stem the tide as Iran's missile factories, some hidden deep within the mountains, continue to churn out new weapons.
The Islamic Republic is continuing to launch ballistic missile attacks at Israel, 11 rounds of which since the fighting started. And Iran is largely engaging in what we call a counter-value operation, meaning they're targeting civilian population centers largely in a bid to erode the will of the Israelis to fight.
Iranian officials taunt that new generation of missiles are still on the shelf, hinting at even deadlier barrages to come. With each passing day, Israel's strategic depth erodes, its population gripped by fear and uncertainty as sirens wail from Haifa to Beersheba.
It started before 1 week. It's very scared, and I feel very, very bad right now. I hope it's finished right now. It's a dream. I think it's finished a long time, like 1 month or 2 months, something like that.
It's terrible. Destroyed buildings. You know that moments before people were sitting here hoping that it wouldn't hit, and they unfortunately suffered a direct hit. Their cars are destroyed, their homes are collapsed, people are severely injured.
Iran's tactics are bleeding Israel dry. The Arrow system, Israel's last line of defense against long-range ballistic threats, is running perilously low on interceptors.
So they said Iran's tactics are bleeding Israel dry. Yeah, I'm not on the ground. I'm not boots on the ground over there, so I don't know what's going on. We just get the news in the aftermath, after the case. But if that's the case, that Iran is bombing Israel and they're bleeding their weapon systems dry, well, what's the other alternative? Y'all tell me in the chat. What's the other alternative? Who has to get involved to come aid and assist? And that could be a trickle effect as well, because you better believe China and Russia are also monitoring the situation, because it directly impacts them as well. Law Docs, you said not all people in Israel are bad. Not all people in Iran are bad. Just bad for everyone at this point. When they hide how badly they are getting hit, that is very telling. It's an illusion. You said MAGA is going to get involved. Okay, peace is the alternative. Now, Law Docs, yes, I want peace in the world. I pray for peace. But you already know, ever since I've been on this planet, peace ain't never been peace ain't never existed. We ain't never been like, hey, we want peace in this planet. It's always, since I portaled in and stepped foot on this planet, it has been destruction in society. And it's probably been that way for thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? It just keeps evolving. It doesn't stop. That's part of the test. So I have not seen peace on this planet. I've never seen peace on this planet. So you already know people love conflict. There's certain groups of people that want to dominate other people and continue to exert, power over people. So it's a never-ending game. It's an illusion. When they actually do say there's peace, sudden destruction will come. This isn't a peace realm. No, it's not. I agree with you. You said ever since Cain and Abel. You went all the way back, Law Docs. You went all the way back. Let's continue right quick.
With stocks dwindling fast, analysts warn that Israel faces only 10 days of adequate defense before critical depletion. For its part, Israel still controls the skies, executing deep strikes on Iran's nuclear and missile infrastructure. But even successful hits don't blunt Iran's escalating threat. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Before you leave, can you turn that document into a PDF for me? Thanks.
At 5.
And well, joining us live on the broadcast is Andrew Fox, former Airborne Army officer and West Asia specialist. Level of strikes against Iran.
I think the Americans will add a huge amount of value.
they can certainly help striking some of the deeper sites in Iran, which would be useful for Israel's campaign. But as for the rest of what they're doing, Israel has it fully in hand. And I have to say, the report you've just shown was one of the biggest sort of nonsense reports I've ever seen in my entire life. The Israeli.
So this guy right here, see that we don't know what's going on the ground. We don't know what's going, unless you're there. You know, you have a more. So it's a media thing. Like both sides are controlling the narrative. On one side, Iran is getting the upper hand of Israel, and on the other side, Israel is pretty much dominating the show. I feel like they're both. From my perspective, I think Israel is striking key targets inside of Iran, and on the other spectrum, Iran is hitting Israel hard with their infrastructure and their civilian population, and they're also hitting key targets as well. So I believe they're both hitting each other hard. So eventually, who can out-sustain the other? That's the question. Israel has air dominance in the sky. They have air superiority. And then Iran has, rocket dominance. So they can hit hard from the ground. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of missiles, a lot of weapon systems. So it's going to be tit for tat, but who can sustain it longer? Whose infrastructure can sustain the longest? I'm gonna leave. That's a good question for y'all in the chat. Y'all tell me in the chat who can really sustain that conventional warfare between each other the longest, without the aid of the United States or China or Russia. I'm gonna leave that for y'all in the chat. Y'all tell me in the chat. Yes, definitely propaganda, Lawrence. Propaganda warfare. It's an illusion. With AI, it could be even worse. I feel like AI is already being implemented. It's an illusion. I think the United States is already operating with AI. I was just watching a documentary yesterday with what's it called? Quantum computing. Y'all should know about quantum computers. And NASA, which is an agency, a part of the United States, they reached quantum supremacy back in 2019, I believe. They built a quantum computer and it scared the shit out of them, and it was open to the public, and then eventually they shut it down. They stopped talking about it. And the United States started sending funding, all these billions for funding these quantum computers. Now, mix quantum computers with artificial intelligence, and we don't know what the hell the United States has going behind the scenes. We don't know what they're working with. On top of that, include Palantir. On top of that, include all the companies, the top 10 tech companies in the United States. We don't know what they're working with. So they definitely working with some shit we don't know about, and it's probably going to blow our minds. Pause. It's an illusion. You said, well, it's done. Help. Well, it doesn't help that Israel has military infrastructure just chilling amongst civilians. Yeah, it don't help. I agree with you. I do too. I just mean with the propaganda. Okay. I believe as well. I think they're running AI systems across the board. But let's go ahead and move on so we can get to the charts right quick. I'm going to move on from that. What else I have to cover for y'all? Let's get into crypto. Does crypto go hand in hand with AI? Do you think? Oh, hell yeah. Yes. Yeah, eventually, yes. Not just crypto, blockchain. From what I've been researching, blockchain, not necessarily crypto, but definitely blockchain. If you want to go look up Hedera, they're working directly with AI. NVIDIA. NVIDIA is working with AI systems. So definitely, yes, blockchain is going to go hand in hand with AI at some point. It's not together yet, but it's eventually going to lead down that path. And definitely blockchain and artificial intelligence is leading down that path. So most definitely. Let's come over here. Let's get into the crypto news. That was the war front. We're going to combine them both. This is from the SEC acting vows to crypto. Let's go ahead and review it. Let's review it right quick.
Welcome back. President Trump vowing to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. The president's team making good on those promises, including Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Paul Atkins, who is pushing to make cryptocurrency more available to the everyday investor, focusing on blockchain as well as deregulating the financial markets. We want to talk with the chairman in his first television interview since his confirmation as chairman of the SEC. Paul Atkins joins me right now. Mr. Chairman, thanks so much for spending the time with us.
Well, thank you, Maria. It's great to be with you again. Thanks.
And, you know, we've spoken so much on this program about how Gary Gensler's Securities and Exchange Commission really handicapped growth and strangled markets because of so many rules and regulations. Let's start off with your priorities. How do you want the SEC to look different in 4 years, and what are you focused on most right now?
Oh, well, thanks, Maria. Well, it really is a new day at the SEC. What we're going to be doing is focusing on making rules of the road.
Looking for a solution to your disjointed and siloed IT workflows? NinjaOne's platform
Understandable and clear for people. And one of those areas is digital assets, cryptocurrencies and whatnot. And so we're working with our counterparts on the Hill and in the White House and at the Commodity Futures Trading Commission to do just that. And the good thing is, two of my colleagues as commissioners used to work for me when I was a commissioner about 15 or so years ago, and they got a head start right after inauguration to focus on crypto markets and crypto assets. Hester Peirce is leading a task force on that, and Mark Ueda is focusing on other priorities as well. So the getting the rules of the road in the digital asset space clear and for innovation to go forward here in the United States has been stymied for too long. And we're focusing on capital formation, the IPO markets, and have been have not been as robust as they have been, say, 20 or more years ago, and that's again because of many issues, regulation, and litigation issues, and that sort of thing have discouraged people from going into the markets. And then finally, in the marketplace itself, the exchanges and trading rules need to be brought back to basics, and there's too much opportunity for gamesmanship in those particular aspects. So those issues, I think, will get us back to a robust and a marketplace that will be servicing investors ultimately for the best and helping American economy to grow and create jobs.
Yeah, that is a wonderful list, and I want to go through some of those because one of the issues with regard to the crypto developers and the overall market was almost too many players overseeing things, right? I mean, and there was
On how do you make that distinction? This is one of the confusing
dollar assets less value.
My bad, y'all. My bad. I do that all the time. I was asking y'all. Y'all tell me in the chat what's the next phase in the crypto legislation. We had legislation earlier this week. What's the next phase as far as the stablecoin bill and the Genius Act and whatnot? What's the next phase that we're supposed to be headed to? Y'all let me know in the chat. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Press 1 if you can hear me. Press 1 if you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay, so I was asking what was the next phase in the crypto stablecoin act. We had legislation this week, and we're moving forward. Things are moving rapidly. So let's go ahead and Listen to this guy right here.
I think that the immediate question is the immediacy of how quickly the bill passes to the president's desk and how you see that happening.
Well, thanks, Ed. Glad to be here. So the next step here is for the House to take it up, and I think the House is considering its options, but I think we're basically at the finish line here. The House already passed a similar version of the bill called the Stables Act, and I think that we're very close here to having a bill that can go to the president's desk.
There is also a lot of parallel interest from our audience in particular in the market structure efforts that are underway. Do you believe or see the president considering packaging them together, the stablecoin legislation with market structure?
Well, like I said, I think the House is still considering its options. The issue with packaging them together is that the market structure bill has never been taken up by the Senate. It did pass the House in the last Congress, but it never passed the Senate or was even taken up by the Senate. And so you could say that the market structure bill is on the 10-yard line, whereas the market structure bill is really, just a few yards away from becoming law. So I think there are different stages of the process, and if they were packaged together, it would slow down the stablecoin bill. But those decisions still have to be made.
Let's just talk about what this could unleash if it does go forward. Stablecoins could swell to as high as $3.7 trillion by 2030. That's according to Citi. But are we seeing perhaps a delay in regulation elsewhere that could stymie that sort of growth? Citi saying, look, if we don't see others getting on the bandwagon here, it could be limited to just $500 billion.
No, I mean, I think that the stablecoin bill is very helpful. It provides regulatory clarity and stability for the stablecoin industry. Like you were saying, there's already something like $250 billion in float of stablecoins, and that's out without there being a true regulatory framework in the United States. Right now, the number one issuer of stablecoins is offshore. And what this bill would do is provide, like I said, the regulatory clarity and safety. It would bring the whole stablecoin industry onshore. It would enhance consumer protection. The issuers of stablecoins would have to get audited on a quarterly basis. Consumers could be confident that their dollar-based stablecoins were reserved on a one-to-one basis with actual dollars in U.S. bank accounts. And I think this would increase confidence in the industry. And I think that you would also see banks getting into the act. I think you'd see traditional financial players getting involved in it. And that's why the float is expected to grow from, call it roughly 250 billion to trillions of dollars. And that would create more demand for the U.S. dollar internationally. I think you could see other economies start to dollarize from the bottom up as their citizens would prefer to use U.S. digital dollars as opposed to whatever fiat currency they're using. And that would create potentially trillions of dollars of new demand for U.S. Treasury. So I think this bill is a major piece of legislation. I think it's a fantastic bill just on its own. I think that the House should go ahead and take it up, and I think they will take it up, and I think they're going to put it on the president's desk very soon.
What about businesses taking it up? As you say, people waiting in the wings, reports Amazon, Walmart wanting to have their own stablecoin issuance. What is the regulatory oversight going to be like? You say, of course, it's put in stone in terms of the law. What about the resources for that regulation? Because there's going to be a lot to analyze, it feels like.
Yeah, so stablecoins will be under the purview of the banking system, and banking regulators will look at that, and stablecoin issuers will have to go through a regulatory process, and they'll get approved. And like I said, there'll be quarterly audits. And I think that the bill will provide the framework that will give confidence to a lot of traditional financial players to enter the space. And so I think you're going to see new stablecoin products, and I think you'll also see stablecoins being used as payments. I think this is one of the really exciting things about the bill is that blockchain infrastructure will be used as a new kind of dollar-based payment system.
Yes.
That's faster, it's more efficient, smoother. It's a payment system of the future. It's kind of ironic that when the crypto industry really started with Bitcoin about 15 years ago, what was anticipated is that you would get a new kind of currency. You would get a non-fiat currency. But as it turns out, a really important use case of blockchains has been to support digital dollars, to support tokenized dollars. And I think you'll see the extension of that payment system online with that legislation. And that's a really exciting thing. We don't want this innovation being driven offshore right now. Like I said, the leading stablecoin issuer is offshore. I think that you will see this be a new U.S.-based payment system that emerges online.
David, I'm looking at, for example, shares of Coinbase and Circle and basically the market cheering the passage of the bill. You're basically talking about dollarization. And I wondered if you just reflect for a minute of how you feel that the final sort of composition of this legislation supports the goals, the bigger picture goals that you and the president had hoped for when you set out to do it.
Sure. So when the president first took office, and even before he took office, when he was on the campaign trail, he promised to make the United States the crypto capital of the planet, and to replace the approach of the Biden administration, which was essentially regulation through prosecution. I mean, the Biden administration was doing everything it could to drive crypto companies offshore, and he promised to change that approach and provide regulatory clarity so that the innovation could happen in the United States. And I think that, the Trump administration has done that. Even before this bill, the president had signed an executive order to make Bitcoin a strategic reserve asset, providing, I think, a kind of legitimacy for the industry that it had been seeking. We also have formed a president's working group on digital assets that's been systematically hunting down and eliminating some of these war on crypto regulations that have been impeding the industry. The bottom line here is that we just want a fair approach. What founders and entrepreneurs have been asking for is just tell us what the rules are and we'll abide by those rules. So we've been trying to provide that regulatory clarity. But at the end of the day, if you want to make sure that the rules stay stable for founders, you need to enshrine them in law. And it's great when you can get the various agencies and departments of the government to change their rules, to take up better rulemaking, and we've done that. But again, the way that you provide long-term protection against the return of a new Gary Gensler or something like that is you enshrine them into law, and that's what this bill, the Genius Act, would do, and it's also what the market structure legislation would do, and we want to take that up next to be sure.
Sorry to interrupt you. What is missing from the bill and what Democrats push for was specific controls on the president and president's family in their ability to move within the corners of the crypto market with which they're affiliated. There's a lot of concern that wasn't done. Is the concern justified?
I don't think so. I mean, so first of all, you should ask them what they're doing, because I'm not involved in any particular company's products. I'm just an innovation advisor. But my understanding is that what they've said is that the president's assets are in a blind trust. His sons are not in the government. They're adults, and they're allowed to engage in business. And they have a company, and I think that these are unrelated things.
You're an innovation expert, not just in crypto, but in AI too. We shift there a little bit because you've hunted down rules that perhaps weren't so.
I'm gonna end it right there. That was an update with David Sachs. With the legislation, crypto legislation. I felt like he gave some great insight, and that's some good information. We're not too far off. We gotta just get through these dog days of summer. I call it the Jason months. If you don't know what the Jason months are, that's from July, August, September, October, November. Those are the Jason months. And that's typically when we see a lot of chaos and destruction and distractions going on across the globe. They like to do it during those times of the year. That's when they like to bring all this chaos. And that we got to get through these summer months. We need to get to the fourth quarter of the year. So a lot of distractions. Normally during the fourth quarter, first quarter, that's when we see good price action. That's exactly what we seen last year. But let's go ahead and come over to the markets. Let's go ahead and get into some price action. Let me bring it up right quick. Let's come over here to first market I'm looking at right now is Bitcoin. I'm looking at Bitcoin first. If y'all are just joining, man, make sure y'all smash that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Click the link in the description if y'all want access to the Patreon in the Discord. So right now I'm looking at Bitcoin. So I'm going to give you all the macro. I'm not going to do too much intraday price action right now. I'm going to give you all the macro perspective. As you can see, Bitcoin, matter of fact, let's come over to the dollar. I want to start with the dollar. Got to put it in context for y'all. Put it in context. So let me pull up the dollar. We're going to start with the dollar. So whenever the dollar shows weakness, whenever the dollar sells off, that's a risk on environment. So if you don't know, the dollar, United States dollar, is the world reserve currency still to this day. That's what gives us the power to just print whatever we want. That gives our military power. So we can just print money out of thin air. So this instrument, this tool, impacts most of the rest of the markets. It dictates whether markets are going to be bullish or bearish. This is the instrument that drives most markets. What drives the dollar? That's a pop quiz. Y'all tell me in the comments what drives the dollar. What determines what the dollar does? Y'all tell me in the comments. But we're going to start off with the dollar. And this is a 3-month time frame. Let me zoom out to the 6 month. 5.1 magnitude earthquake hits Iran. Okay. That might not be an earthquake. That might be something else. We never know. And I don't think that's random. It's not random that earthquakes are hitting Iran. It's not random, not during this time of the day. So we are currently sitting on the 6 month time frame for the dollar. This is a long-term time frame, so you want to zoom all the way out. Every candlestick that you see on my chart takes 6 months to complete. So that's a very long time. If we look at this current range, what's the current range? I'm going to take a Fibonacci from this swing high up here. This high formed back in July 2001. All the way down to this swing low at the bottom of my chart right here. I'm going to take the Fibonacci from the high to the low. This low formed in 2008, January 2008. So this is the current Dilling range that we're in. We're just trapped inside of this range from this swing high in 01 and this swing low back in 08. And you can see us ranging. The midway point is the equilibrium. That's the equilibrium, the 50% level. So y'all tell me right now, what kind of market is the dollar currently in? Is it in a premium or is it in a discount market? Y'all tell me in the chat. And if you don't know, the markets are algorithmic. It either goes from a premium to discount, discount to premium. That's all it does. And it's either seeking liquidity or seeking inefficiency in the market. So we as traders, we like to short the market when we're at premiums. We like to buy the market when we're at discount. Yes, you're right, Lawrence. The bonds market. The bonds market, yes. ZZ, you said we're in a buy program. Yes, when you have this zoomed out perspective, yes, we are currently in a buy program, but we're caught inside of a Dilling range. You want to identify the Dilling range, and we're caught up inside of a premium market currently. Shout out to you, Daryl. We're in the premium. Red Pill Awakening, he said discount in a state of consolidation. No, we're not in a discount. The dollar is currently at a premium based on the Dilling range from swing high to swing low. You can see us currently trapped in it. If I take a let's take a rectangle. Let's take a rectangle. And I'm gonna highlight the premium market to discount market. So I'm gonna take it from the high of the swing high, this swing high up here. I'm gonna take a rectangle from that high down to the midway point. In the shaded blue area, that's the premium side of the Dilling range. And I'm gonna take another rectangle from the middle of the range down to the swing low. And I'm gonna give it another color, and that's the discount. So that's the current Dilling range we're in. We're just trapped in that. It's been a multi-decade Dilling range. From 2001, 2008, the dollar is currently from a discount. See down here, it went from a discount. We're buyers in discounts. We like to sell at premium. So the dollar for decades now, from 08, for over a decade, from 08 all the way to current day, has went up into a premium market. You see the blue highlighted area? That's a premium market. And now we hit those premium levels, as I got highlighted inside of the shaded area. See this 3 month fair value gap? We went up into that, we rejected it. Now price is trading down. So now we're at a key junction for the dollar. We're at a critical time for the dollar. Let me go down to the 3 month time frame. Let's go down to the 3 month time frame. So I remember when I first started trading, when I first started learning technical analysis, and we go back all the way to 2020, around this time period, So around here, around 2020, when I first jumped in the game, got my skin, got my hands dirty and trying to learn this skill set, the dollar was in here in my highlighted area. It was in here. So for years now, every one of these candles take 3 months. So this is 4 of these candles completes 1 year. So for years, I sat back and watched the dollar go higher. That was during the pandemic era. They injected liquidity into the market. They printed money. And then as the dollar went higher, they pretty much started raising rates. So when the dollar went higher, they started raising rates. That makes money more expensive to borrow. Cash becomes more expensive, harder to come by. So whenever you see that function in the market, you see the dollar rally, and that's what we've been seeing for the past couple of years. So they raised the rates, and then they started cutting the rates and pausing the rates. So whenever they pausing the rates, you see the dollar go into this consolidation. That brings uncertainty to the markets whenever they pause the rates. The dollar needs to go somewhere. It needs to go somewhere. So we're currently in a premium market. Okay, we're in a premium in the blue highlighted area, and we have liquidity resting below the market, down at sell side liquidity. We have a ton of sell side liquidity resting below price. We're going to get back to red pill. This is pretty much follow the money session. I know you stuck on XRP, but I'm a specialist. Understand that. I don't just cover crypto. I am a technical analyst for real. I am a specialist. I am a trader. So I don't just cover. You have to understand multiple markets. You can't just be fixated on one market. And then here you are frustrated because XRP isn't doing anything. There's reason why XRP and other cryptocurrencies aren't doing stuff. You got to look at other markets that influence the rest of the markets. For example, the dollar, the currency, we cannot participate. If you don't get up and go to work, there's no way you can go participate and purchase cryptocurrency. You have to have an overall perspective. You can't just be fixated on one market. So whenever you're watching my channel, don't just expect XRP. No, we're going to cover all financial assets. And I am a specialist in the futures market. So if y'all want to learn that, sign up to the Patreon. We actually trade the futures market. Yes, you got to look at the big picture. So you can't just be fixated on, what's XRP doing today? No, that's not what I do. I am trained. I am very trained to analyze all markets. I've been doing this for years. So you got to understand what the foundation, the currency, it's called intermarket analysis. What is intermarket analysis? Intermarket analysis is when you take different asset class. One asset class influences another asset class. So the treasuries influences the currencies. The currencies influences commodities. The currencies influence stocks. Everything is correlated. You understand? So understanding the basics of what the dollar is doing, that helps us understand, okay, this is a risk on environment for commodities, crypto, stocks, gold. So whenever the dollar is selling off, for example, the dollar is selling off, that's a risk on environment. Let's drop down to a monthly. So now for consecutive months now, dollar went up to a premium level, and now it's starting to sell off. You see that? It's starting to sell off. And this has been for consecutive months where we've seen the dollar selling off. And it was already selling off leading up to interest rates, pauses, war. It was already programmed to start moving lower. Okay, price is algorithmic. It's already programmed and predetermined. So for the past 5 months now, the dollar has been selling off, going lower because we're in a premium market and traders short at premium. So price most likely wants to come down and come take out some of this liquidity below the market. Y'all tell me in the chat, is it bullish for the dollar if the United States goes to war? Is that bullish or bearish for the currency, the dollar? Y'all tell me in the chat. I want to see y'all reaction. Y'all let me know in the chat. Y'all engage and let me know. Okay, so the dollar's being bearish. I want to see it. You're right, Sneaky. You're definitely right. Bullish. Yes. So if we go to war, that's bullish for the dollar. It is what it is. That whenever we go to war, the United States needs capital. You understand that, right? So what does the Federal Reserve do? That's why they're pausing rates and giving an excuse to cut the money printers on. Okay, if we go to war, the money printers are coming on. If the money printers come on, that's going to weaken the dollar, and they're going to inject liquidity into the market. Print. That's going to devalue the currency. So if we go to war, you better believe the Federal Reserve cut the money printers on, and we're going to see that sell off in the dollar. Now, if the war is prolonged and they cut the money printers off, you're going to start to see the dollar start to rise. So we are at an interesting point with the dollar. We're not even including if they cut the interest rates. And y'all tell me in the chat, are they going to cut the interest rates? I need to go look at the economic calendar. I don't know when the next date is, but they've been pausing. But if they rip the Band-Aid off and cut the interest rates, that's going to be bearish for the dollar. So we got a lot to work with. The dollar influences everything else. So right now we're in a premium for the dollar. I want to see it drop down to this trend line right here. It keeps teetering around with it, but I want to see it drop down. This is a 6-month order block. And if the dollar, for whatever reason, goes extremely bearish, there's a ton of liquidity resting below the market at a discount. So right now, I'm bearish on the dollar. So if I'm bearish on the dollar, that is a risk-on environment for other asset classes. Not every market is going to be bullish like XRP. Right now, they're holding. We already know there's other factors controlling XRP. But if we look at Bitcoin, it's continuing to go higher. It's right now it's just consolidating on lower time frames. But dollar selling off, risk on environment for commodities, Bitcoin is considered a commodity, is bullish. Let's look at gold and silver. Gold is bullish because of the dollar weakness, okay? It's a commodity. Commodities rising higher. Let's look at silver. Silver on the way to break out. Commodities rising higher. Why is that? Because the dollar is showing weakness. Asset classes, risk on environment starts to go higher. Eventually, other markets like XRP is going to eventually catch up. Let's take a quick glance at oil. So with the tensions in the Middle East, oil is a highly manipulated market, highly manipulated. It's controlled by the derivatives. It's controlled by the futures markets. But this is a monthly time frame. So ever since the conflict, y'all tell me in the chat, what is this right here on the monthly time frame? What is this? Y'all zoom in, squint your eyes, whatever device you're on. Look at this right here. What is that right there? It's a certain PD array. PD array stands for premium discount array. So is it a premium or a discount array? And then name that PD array. Y'all tell me in the chat. Shout out to you, Daryl. It is a BISI. It is a BISI in the form of a fair value gap. BISI stands for buy side imbalance, sell side delivery. These terms, if you want to learn them, sign up to the Patreon. These are technical terms. The markets are algorithmic. So is it random? You see that small inefficiency in the market? It's a gap in price. It was inefficient. This is oil. They left the gap in this price right here. Eventually, it sold back down to it and used it as a key support level. You see that? See how it drops down into that gap, goes to the midway point for 2 consecutive months. We don't even know that war is ahead of us, but boom, out of nowhere, war is ahead of us, and it presents itself. And then oil reacts to price drop. So they was already driving oil prices down to that level. It's not random. They was already driving it down to that level. It was in a high resistance sell side liquidity profile. High resistance means choppiness, and it took a long time. It took several years for it to drop down to that significant level in price. Use it as support, and now oil prices are going higher. Currently trading at $74. It was at a low earlier last month. It was at $55. So from $55 to $74, oil is rallying higher. Dollar showing weakness. Risk on environment. So essentially, if y'all been doing what y'all supposed to do, like grinding, living below your means. You haven't been outside. You haven't been partying. Y'all been locked in. If you've been doing what you've been supposed to do for the past 3, 4, 5 years, where you're stacking fiat and you've been strategically placing it in certain assets, it might be your time. I'm looking good on silver. I own physical silver and gold, and I'm not complaining over here. Silver is doing really well for me. Certain crypto is not performing. I'm doing well in crypto as well, but the ones that I'm in, we already know we're waiting for crypto legislation, etc. And then when it comes to trading, doing well in trading, doing very well in trading. For example, you could come over here and trade the oil market. You could come over here and trade oil. You say you're stacking silver. Silver's at a premium right now. You should have been stacking, and I'm not saying you, Lawrence, but you should have been stacking silver back in 2022. Let's come over to silver right quick. So, for example, back in during these years, 2020, all the way out to about 2023, they gave you opportunities to accumulate silver. Right now, and you was able to get it at a low of $23. I believe I was buying it at $19, $20. I was buying it all inside this range, okay? And then boom, displacement higher. Now it is at a premium. You're going to be paying 36 and above. You're going to be paying $40, $45 for some silver, some premium silver. So for an ounce, you know what I'm saying? So you should have been stacking your ounces a few years ago when the dollar was strong. So these are commodities, you know what I'm saying? Oil. So what I'm expecting for oil might do some crazy. Hey, if war break out for real, like if war breaks out in the Middle East, you better believe oil, you're about to have an extra bill added to your monthly expenses, because oil is going to probably be like, you know, some of y'all that commute back and forth to work, oil is going to raise the prices of gases at the pump. If you haven't been noticing, look at your local gas stations and check out the prices. Gas prices are going up, going higher, and that's because conflict in the Middle East. War is profitable. If you learn this skill set, you could be banking and trading this while conflict is going on. You know what I'm saying? This is the oil futures contract. This is oil futures. So you could be getting in here right now. Let's go down to the 15-minute. And the market is currently closed right now, and that's some volatile price action. But there's opportunity for traders and people that are hedging and leveraging the war to profit in the oil futures market. So I'm gonna leave that for y'all to think about. You can do the same in silver. You can do the same in gold. So all these assets in these markets, you can be profiting right now, banking it, not necessarily holding the underlying asset. But the dollar is bearish. So it's a risk-on environment for commodities, assets. So we're expecting prices to start going higher. So for y'all that been waiting for XRP, here we are on XRP. Let's give a detailed analysis on XRP. So we on the 6-month time frame. Like I said before, the 6-month time frame is a long time. Like it's a long time frame. So this is when you want to have a zoomed out perspective. This is a macro perspective where we're looking out long term. We're looking at the lay of the land. We're looking at the battlefield. So we know no point in, oh, when is this going to end? When is XRP going to do this? No, you got a zoomed out perspective. And by zooming out on the charts, it helps you analyze from a long term analysis. So for you long-term traders, you long-term investors, this type of analysis is for you. I'm not going to do an intraday analysis on this one. So we're going to keep it all long-term. So on the 6-month time frame, we got 10 days left to complete the half of the year. So it takes 2 of these candles to complete 1 yearly cycle. 2 candles completes 1 yearly cycle. Okay? 2 candles. So 6 months, 6 months, 1 year done. So we're coming up on the last 10 days of the first half of the year. And we can see this right here. I've been caught forecasting this and shadowing this for probably a month now. Already ahead of the game. Markets globally, all across the board, are at high risk right now. With the dollar, it's still uncertainty. The dollar can spike up or it can tank. So we're waiting to see how we roll over into the second half of the year. What is going to happen? Trump talking about, yeah, give me 2 weeks. We're going to see what we're going to do. I'm of the opinion that we're going to go into Iran. When that happens, expect these markets to start showing their hand. Right now, they got their hand close to their chest, like we playing poker or something. They're keeping their hands close to their chest. I'm advising y'all to wait until we roll over to the second half of the year for more sentiment. But for XRP, in 10 days, we will close this 6-month candle in 10 days. Once we close this, y'all tell me in the chat, what is this? This becomes valid, this highlighted area. Once this candle closes, this highlighted area becomes valid, and we can look to potentially trade down into this because that's a large inefficiency in the market. Shout out to you, Daryl. It's a BISI, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. Why is it a BISI? Because they only offered buy side delivery. They didn't offer any selling in here. The markets are algorithmic, so they repeat these functions over and over again. They didn't offer any selling in this. So what the algorithm is going to want to do is most likely going to want to trade back down into this. Also, before we get down to that, look, notice the wicks on this candle. Y'all see that? We got some very large wicks on this candle. So we're going to take an account for this discount right here. This discounted ghost pool. That's another PD array. So what I'm gonna do is take a Fibonacci from the opening down to the low of the wick. And we have we also have these ranges inside of this wick right here that we can use as support. So it doesn't have to be all gloom and doom now, especially with legislation coming up in the second half of the year. It doesn't have to be all gloom and doom. If we do decide to trade down here, I don't want to see it down here long at all. If we do decide to trade down to these levels, I don't want to see it hang out down here long at all. I want to be boop, boop, in and out. If we trade down there. Notice I say if. I'm not saying it will or it can't. By this being here, high possibility that it does, okay? Very high possibility. But other than that, we got this ghost pool. So we're waiting. The markets are waiting. Look at the first half of the year. Look what the market has done. It opened up. It traded higher. It took out the previous all-time high, which was $3.31. It created a new all-time high of $3.39. And then now it's just trading in the range. It just trading in the range. We endured that the first half of the year. So it's going to be very interesting how we roll over into the second half of the year, which will be the next 6-month candle that prints. So from the 6-month, let's go down to the 3-month time frame. Okay? On a 3-month time frame, consecutive candles. Each one of these candles take 3 months to complete. All we have been doing is trading sideways. You see that? Trading sideways. Also, we traded down into this 3-month fair value gap. So we also have a 3-month fair value gap, which is present. Now, take this for your notes. For y'all that always ask me, how do you know how to determine the price, the direction of price or bias? Sticking to the higher time frame narrative. So, see the orange highlighted area? That's a 3-month fair value gap. It's still valid. It's still in my chart. But after this quarter closes in 10 days, the 6-month fair value gap in gray becomes valid. The 6-month fair value gap has more influence and more power over the 3-month fair value gap. Y'all understand that? Markets are driven by the higher time frame bias, or higher time frame order flow determines price direction. Okay, so the 6-month fair value gap has more influence over the 3-month fair value gap. But you blend the two. You want to blend both of them because they're still going to be in effect. So you're going to blend both of them. We're going to still use both of them, but I'm going to be mainly looking at that 6-month fair value gap. Once it becomes valid right there, boom, you see that? I'm going to remove that 3-month and I'm still be watching it because those levels are still a factor, but we're going to focus on that 6-month fair value gap that's forming. And if we just take a close look on the 6-month fair value gap, you can see those potential price levels, $1.61 at the the top of the fair value gap. We got at the 0.75 level, we got $1.39. At the midway point, we got $1.17. At the 0.25 level, we got 96 cents. and all the way at the bottom, 74 cents. Do I see that happening? No, I don't. I don't want to see it come below the midway point. I want to stay above the midway point of the fair value gap. Okay? So we got a long road ahead, y'all. You got a long road ahead. Price right now is done. I'm not caring. I'm not worried about what XRP does in the next few days, whatnot. No, we got a whole second half of the year to get through from a long-term analysis. ZZ, you said this will scare off retail more than ever. Yes, it's painful, man. It's very painful. It's very painful. But with the pain, you know, when you're in the gym, you're working out, whatnot, you're going to endure pain, but you got to work through the pain. You got to work through the pain, and eventually there will be no more pain. Okay, so we're going to work through this. Hopefully I'm being a guide for y'all. Hopefully I'm being enlightening for y'all. Hopefully I'm being motivating. We're going to get through this. There will be another better day. All you have to do on your end is stay alive, be concerned about your health, eat healthy. You know what I'm saying? Do active things, spend time with family, keep your energy high. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want to skip all this, you could just learn how to trade. Sign up to the Discord, the Patreon in the link in the description below. Sign up to that. And you don't have to go through this. You can have more exciting things to do while you wait for price appreciation instead of just waiting and hoping, because that never gets you anywhere. Waiting and hoping. Learn new skill sets. Like me, for example, right now I'm learning IT skills. I already know how to trade. I'm proficient in trading. I'm an expert in this. I know what I'm doing. But okay, in the meantime, when the markets aren't doing nothing, let me learn new skill sets. So continue to learn, continue to grow. Don't stay stagnant. I don't care what age you are. Do not stay stagnant. Continue to learn. There's always something to learn in life. I don't give a damn if you start a garden. I don't give a damn if you just like to clean up in your house or in your home. Do something active to get your mind off of just one thing. Just like who told me that earlier? Who I was talking to earlier. Was it Red Pill? Red Pill Awakening? I'm not coming at you, but we cannot just fixate on one thing in life. You know what I'm saying? We got to diversify a little bit. But let's drop down from a 3-month. I mean, really, there's nothing else to talk about until we close that quarterly in that 6-month candle. There's nothing else to talk about. We have to wait until we roll over into the second half of the year. That also aligns with what Trump was saying with his war expectations. Is he going to go in Iran? He said he's going to make a decision in 2 weeks, if y'all didn't see that. So they're moving chess pieces on the chessboard. The markets are reflecting that, and it's a wait and see thing. If we look at things like Palantir and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? That is doing good from a long-term perspective. That's because they're directly working with, they're wartime, they're a war company. So they're directly working with the Department of Defense and the military. So those assets are doing well. So when we're talking about the financial system and rewiring the financial system, we're talking about things that can directly impact it. It's going to take longer. You get what I'm saying? The financial system is going to take longer. So that's what y'all sign up for. Do y'all realize what y'all sign up for? Daryl, you said the 24/7 XRP contract from Coinbase is currently up and running. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Let's I'm gonna get through it. I haven't really covered the futures up in here in a while. I haven't really been going live neither. I've been trying to keep a balance as well. I don't want to overdo it. If I overdo live streams, I kind of get burnt out. So I don't want to overdo it. So you're gonna keep it moving. Let me see right quick. Let's pull that up, Daryl. Let's pull that up. Let's go to I got it saved somewhere. Let's go to the Nano XRP contract from Coinbase. I haven't been on this in a while because I've been trading other markets, but I need to get into it because what I've been noticing was the liquidity, the market structure is looking cleaner for XRP futures. This is the June contract. It is not. Let me see right quick. What's the current contract? One second. And if y'all just joining, man, smash the like button. I appreciate y'all joining on this Friday evening. We just going over the markets. We're following the money, making proper decisions, understanding the flow of money. And we're just reviewing different markets. We're trying to get through the first half of the year. We only got 10 days left, and then we're going to cross over to the third quarter of 2025. Third quarter of the 2025. Let me see what's the current contract. June. I believe June is still running, but they might be switching over to July. Let me select July right quick. No data. So, okay. June contract still in motion. So, and the market is currently closed. So, and you told me it's 24/7. Let me see right quick. 24/7. It should be open now. Let me see. You're down here at the bottom. Let's go to settings. More settings. Nah, that ain't it. Settings. Red Pill Awakening. Did I answer your question? Did I answer your question from earlier? I mean, I pretty much gave my forecast for XRP. That's my forecast. Did you understand it? Did you comprehend it? I pretty much, ran that by you. You know what I'm saying? So did you understand what I was saying when it comes to forecasting XRP? Let's see right quick. I'm not seeing the 24/7 contract yet. I'm sure. Let me see right quick. I'm not seeing it live. Daryl, when did it go live? When did it go live? When did the 24/7 contract go live for XRP? Let's come over here. Coinbase. 24/7. You said it went live on the 19th? I know that's old. That's an old article right there. Let me go to I haven't been on Coinbase. And I got an account with Coinbase. I haven't been over there. I've been focusing on other things, but I need to catch up. Can't be in all places at once. I'm trying to build my own artificial intelligence. Let me see. Let's go to news. Powering the future of e-commerce, introducing Coinbase payments. Nope. Coinbase launches 24/7 USDC payments for commerce. So no, they didn't go live. From what I'm reading, they have launched 24/7 payments with USDC. So that was 10 hours ago. Live futures trading. Coinbase 24/7 XRP and Solana futures trading will change the crypto volume. That was 3 weeks ago. Maybe for Bitcoin. Let's check out Bitcoin right quick. Okay, you said XRP 27 in June 20. You're saying on the 27th. Okay, so we'll be on the lookout for that. But I do believe Bitcoin. Let me go over right quick. I think the Bitcoin 24/7 is currently going on. So let's go do BTC. And let's see if it's 24/7. And that's the case. Shout out to y'all on the weekends. Y'all are able to trade regulated futures on the weekend. Let's see right quick. Coinbase. Futures. Right here. It's called BIT. The ticker for Bitcoin futures is BIT. I'm going to go to BIT. Let's go to the June contract. Let's go down to a 5-minute time frame. And let me see right quick. Yeah, the market is currently closed. So this is not 24/7. Now, what I'm wondering is if it's 24/7 only on Coinbase. And if it's on 24/7 only on Coinbase, then I'm not interested in going on Coinbase platform. I'm only interested in being on TradingView's platform, which it should they're integrated. So I don't know why they won't go ahead and bring 24/7 trading to TradingView. So it's a wait and see. Let the development come about. You know what I'm saying? Give it some time. Daryl, you said that's what is labeled in the Coinbase derivatives. Coinbase. Okay. So we're going to be waiting on that. Speaking of futures, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the futures. Let's come over here to the large contract, XRP futures contract. Let me see if I got it pulled up. We got the Nano XRP. I just showed that. Let's look at the CME XRP. CME XRP. Last time I got up with y'all, I highlighted this SIBI right here, or this volume imbalance, and I wanted to see it trade down to this level. But very volatile market, so that we've been seeing so far. Very volatile. And the market is currently closed, so we need more capital to flow through this. You see the spottiness? You see how the price is spotty? I don't want to see that, because that indicates to me that there's not enough volume in the market just yet. We need more volume in this before I decide to trade it. We need more volume. So I don't want all these spottiness, all these gaps. No, we need more market structure. Whenever they bring more liquidity, price looks way more cleaner. And you can notice it when the volume picks up. It kind of looks like this right here. Solid body candles and clean market structure. So we're not there yet. We still need more capital to flow through the markets. But let's see right quick. That's the macro perspective for XRP. Let me drop down to the monthly. Go down to the monthly time frame. And as you can see on the monthly time frame, what's the current market profile? Y'all tell me in the chat. That's a pop quiz testing y'all knowledge on technical analysis. What's the current market profile? Is it in a consolidation, expansion, retracement, or a reversal profile on the monthly? Every time frame is different, but on the monthly time frame, what's the current market profile? Y'all tell me in the chat. Shout out to you, Sneaky. It is definitely in a consolidation. And every one of these candles takes 30 days. 30 days to complete, roughly. So this has been a long-term time that price has been in consolidation. It's literally been in consolidation for 1, 2, 3, 4 months now. And like I showed you on the 6-month time frame, the first half of the year was very volatile. And within about 3 months, so for example, this candle right here was January. January broke out, took out previous all-time high. February, coming off of that high, tanked lower, retraced back down into a discount. Okay, and then we went over to March. March was very wicky, very volatile. But what I'm doing right now, I'm looking at the bodies of the candles. Ignore the wicks. So January bullish, February bearish, March consolidation, April consolidation, May consolidation, and here we are, June. We only got a few more days, consolidation. So that's been the first half of the year so far for XRP. Nothing to look at. That's why I said we need to go ahead and close out. We got 10 days left. Once we end these 10 days, we will cross over to the second half of the year. And that's a new ball game. Just like in sports, you play, let's say, a basketball game. The first half of the game might be going one way. You might be down and out, whatnot. But here we are, third, fourth quarter. That's when the game starts mattering. We start locking in and we start making plays. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much how I'm analyzing the market. That's how it looks. So let's see. I don't even want to look. XRP so boring right now, and I'm not knocking it. When I say that, don't take it as me knocking XRP. It's so boring right now that it's not even worth talking about. I'm watching it daily. I'm monitoring it daily, but it's really nothing to analyze because of the consolidation. That's pure manipulation. When is the court case going to end? Finally. When is the legislation going to pass? Finally. So there's so many factors that we must get through for us to see that sponsorship from institutions, okay? We was already in it. So if you've been in this, that pump back in November, December, January was all institutional sponsorship. So we was in this for this long haul. So if you've been through this back here, this is a cakewalk. We've been through this before, okay? So if you've been through this consolidation right here that lasted over 1,000 days, if not longer, if we just go out even longer, let's say from right here to right here, over 1,500 days. If you've been through this, then this right here, like we've been through this already, okay? We've been through this. You are well positioned if you was in the market back in this range. You was well positioned. So now just it's time to do other stuff. Not give up on your investment. When I say it's time to do other stuff, it's time to look at other things. For example, let me pull up like DAG. It's other assets out here, y'all. Like XRP, if you've been in it, it's time to not so much focus on it every day. Let your seeds that you planted grow if you're a long-term investor. Let's pull up DAG. Yeah, they postponed everything. So let's look at DAG. So what I want to do is let's come over to their website. Let's come to DAG website. Let's go to DAG, D-A-G. D-A-G. Matter of fact, Constellation, my bad. Constellation Network. And their digital asset is DAG. So this is Constellation, who owns the crypto or created the cryptocurrency DAG. Let's go look at the price right quick. Let me go back to the price. Let's review the price. Let's go out to the let's go out to a 3-month time frame. It's an illusion. I'm not sure, man. I ain't thinking that deep. Hey, none of us are in control. I hate to even speculate. I feel like I'm wasting brain cells. No disrespect to you. I feel like I'm wasting brain cells even trying to like think so deeply about what they're gonna do next, etc. No, they already know what they're gonna do next, and we don't know what they're gonna do next. But what I'm focused on, okay, how can I profit and monetize off of this shit? Because fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Fuck them. Because they killing people. People are dying. This shit is stupid. The American people have no input on none of this. So you might as well make money in the process. That's how I look at it. Feed yourself and your family. Take care of you and your family. And let's see how we can profit and monetize off this shit. And pray for the world. You know what I'm saying? Pray for the world. Pray for the world. So this is DAG. This is DAG. It's currently trading at 3 pennies, y'all. 3 pennies. What a great opportunity. 3 pennies coming off of a high of the all-time high back in 2021 was 45 cents. Okay, 45 cents. So coming off a high of 45 cents, DAG is currently down to 3 pennies. I'm monitoring this BISI over here all the way back in 2021 in the form of a fair value gap. You say you wouldn't make trading decisions on that? No, most definitely. But back in 2021, you can see how many times we returned back to this fair value gap several times, offering you a discounted opportunity. And I believe it's going to come down again to offer y'all another opportunity at 2 pennies and possibly 1 penny, because we got a lot of sell side liquidity resting inside of this fair value gap. But if you want to guarantee entry, you're going to place your limit orders at the top of the fair value gap right there. You cannot beat that. DAG is at a discount. Okay, it's at a deep discount. So what does Constellation have to do with DAG? So we're over here on Constellation's website. It says it's a trusted American blockchain, America's trusted blockchain. Okay. Constellation digital evidence. If your data is important, I just seen that they had a cyber attack. Something happened this week. Major cyber attack. And I seen on X that DAG had said, hey, we had the solutions for this. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, if your data is important, then it should be on a chain. So, okay, makes sense. So if we look at some of the partnerships, they're partnered with Panasonic, Uphold, IBM. Here we are, relevant partnerships. For this, I'm not familiar with some of these. Foursquare, the United States Air Force, boom. The United States Air Force. Let me go back right quick. So in times of war and conflict, what can DAG do for the United States Air Force? What can DAG, what products or what services is DAG doing for the Air Force? They're also partnering with AWS as well. AWS, which is cloud. Yes, they have a lot of partnerships. So this is the type of things I like to see. But one key thing in times of war, the United States Air Force, DAG is partnered up, or Constellation is partnered up with DAG. And I'm sure they're going to be doing some type of blockchain data for the United States Air Force. And the token that they most likely will be using for data or whatever they have to do. I have to read more into DAG. I'm not proficient like I should be on DAG, but I'm interested because It's at 3 pennies, and they're working with the military. They're working with the Department of Defense, the United States Air Force branch. So this is at 3 pennies, okay? They're dealing with blockchain and data information. So that's what I mean, XRP. Like, there's other opportunities out here. You know what I'm saying? There's other opportunities. Let's continue to look at DAG. A growing ecosystem products. So one of their products is digital evidence. Securely and immutably store digital evidence such as emergency vehicle sensor data for fast and effective evidentiary reporting. So I'm assuming that's directly working with the military. When I think of vehicle sensors, I'm thinking of fighter jets. I'm thinking of drones. I'm thinking of all kind of shit dealing with the Air Force, even ships and whatnot. What else do they do? Federal solutions approved and validated for the Department of Defense. Constellation is applying its blockchain protocol, HGTP, to the military digital infrastructure. That is key. Why not invest in this shit right now while it's at 3 cents, potentially going down to 2 to 1 pennies? You know what I'm saying? Features, door traffic miner. And I'm not going to get into all these. I'm going to leave it for y'all to come over here and review it. But I'm interested in what they're doing with the Department of Defense. It is highly interesting. The blockchain. Let me see right quick. The blockchain standard for the United States government, since we at wartime right now, representing one of the most contract awarded blockchain companies in the U.S. in U.S. history. That's interesting. One of the most contract awarded blockchain companies in U.S. history. Constellation is advancing its mission to produce provable guarantees on the world's data by applying its blockchain protocol, HGTP, to military's digital infrastructure. By applying Constellation's digital evidence to a range of federal use cases, America's sensitive information can now be protected whenever mission critical data is being orchestrated. So I'm assuming that's preventing cyber attacks, etc. So secure interoperability, secure classified and unclassified data transmissions between connected systems, data validation, aggregate and validate data from both large legacy and emerging systems so that it can be made interoperable, anti-spoofing, prevent spoofing, corruption in incoming data streams, etc. Data logistics. Curate data so it can be rendered dynamically to each user at the level of fidelity and resolution required. Centralized systems are too expensive and not fast enough to process, validate, and manage the volumes of data required for making quick decisions in the field without significant security risk. Baseline requirements for the government and military encryption algorithms. And that's what I mean. The United States already using algorithms, artificial intelligence, and quantum computers. And now they're integrating blockchain technology. So, hey, that's going to be my signal for the day, y'all. That's going to be my signal for the day. What else? Let me look at. DAG is my signal. So be paying attention to DAG. I think I'm going to get off this live stream and go purchase me some DAG, me personally. And let me see right quick. Let's look at HBAR. Let's look at XDC. Let's look at XLM. Okay, XLM first. Still ranging. I think XLM can come down a little bit lower, offer you a more discount. Okay, not at a great opportunity right now, but just give it some time. XDC, perfect. Perfect for opportunity. It's at optimal trade entry inside of this BISI, okay? And then there's this order block. So XDC down to 5 cents. Perfect time to pull the trigger. It's Friday. A lot of y'all that got paid. There's opportunities right now. We don't have to just be focusing on XRP all day. There's opportunities right now to invest at discounts. Optimal trade entry opportunity. XDC, DAG, and let's see, HBAR. HBAR also at a perfect opportunity. Pull the trigger. If I was you, I would be pulling the trigger right now because it's at a perfect opportunity. And those are my signals: HBAR, DAG, and XDC. So there you are. Those are my signals, free signals. at a deep discount. So hopefully y'all take advantage of it. But other than that, man, I'm not going to keep y'all too much longer. I'm going to get up out of here. I might go live tomorrow. Definitely going to go live Sunday. But I'll definitely be on the lookout for y'all on the next one. If y'all are interested in signing up for the Patreon and the Discord, come over here to my Signal service. If you're brand new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. But if y'all interested in getting into the Signal service or learning beginner lessons in technical analysis, sign up to the Patreon. The link is in the description on my channel and throughout my page. So I appreciate y'all joining, man. I'm gonna get up with y'all on the next one. Peace out.